Thank you for listening to the Simply Syndicated Federation. For more great shows like these, visit us at simplysyndicated.com.
Hello and welcome to episode 26 of the Little Pod of Horrors, the best idea since premarital sex, now brought to you on the Simply Syndicated network. I'm Goggs, the host of the show, and as always I am joined by my co-host Mr. Boz. Hello, sir.
Hello. Why did you leave the Halloween off?
Shit, did I? Did I just say the best idea since premarital sex?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, we're leaving that in, people. Hello. Hello, new listeners to us, or potential new listeners to us, thanks to becoming part of the Simply Syndicated network. This is the professionalism you're going to get from the Little Pot of Horrors.
Yeah, you see, we could have edited that out and pretended we were all like slick and professional, but no, let's not build up any false expectations.
No, there's absolutely no point in doing that. Oh, what a dick. I've got an excuse, people. I've been on a kind of rather long hiatus for the last few months, so I'm completely out of practice at doing this whole podcasting lark. So I apologise. Yes, the tagline should be the best idea since premarital sex on Halloween.
Yay.
There we go. For listeners to us who've been listening for the last 25 episodes, you can just tune out for the next little bit, because we'd like to take the first few minutes to say, again, just how excited we are to be part of the Simply Syndicated Federation.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And also just to kind of give a brief overview of us and what the show is about to any potential new listeners who are just joining us for the first time.
Cool.
So, first of all, I'm Gordon. Hello, Goggs, Gordon, whatever you want to call me. We've been doing this now for, 2.5 years almost.
Has it been that long?
It has been that long, yes. Granted, there was a huge gap in between the first and second show because of me, so it's almost coming up on the 2-year mark, really, since we'll be doing it on a fairly regular basis.
Okay.
And yes, people, I did say episode 26 because there's been ups and downs. So, because for everybody involved, I'm over in the States, and Mr. Boz is over in Englandshire, across the pond, so getting time to record is not always the easiest thing in the world. And trying to do it civilised hours for everyone concerned is also the fun and joy of it.
Hence, you won't be getting a weekly show from us, I'm very sorry to say. But we'll try and make it worth, the while of tuning in bi-weekly or once a month or whatever you get. We don't really make promises on that because it just comes down to schedules. But, yeah. So sometimes you'll get 3 shows in 3 weeks, and then
Yes.
which is probably what's going to happen in this first month. And then you might get like a month and a half gap. We do apologise for that, but if you like the show, I suppose you'll come back.
Yes, fingers crossed. And if you're new, there is a whole back catalogue you can go and listen to, including many specials and some Christmas fun and everything like that. So there's lots to keep you entertained while you wait on the upcoming shows. There are a few lovely sections which are kind of running themes, and we don't go over them every single time we record. We like to drop them in every now and again when we can, some spontaneously, depending on what we think of a particular movie. So you're going to get lovely B is for Boz, which is where Mr. Boz watches or attempts to watch a B movie in the hopes of finding some redeeming features, and I'm not quite entirely sure we've actually fulfilled that since it started, have we?
Stay tuned.
Okay, there you go.
Because it's either we're looking for something so terrible that it's hilarious just to rip it to pieces, or we're looking for something that we thought was going to be absolutely terrible, but actually is worth recommending. So it's a nice section because it allows me to go either way. But there are some films that just don't qualify for either. So
yeah, it's a difficult one. But as horror fans out there, you will know that is the struggle that we face.
It is.
We also have a wonderful little, homage to the horror genre. Shall we say? We know that, especially from the older horror genres in the 80s and things like that, there is something that is prevalent in just about every movie that was out, and that is boobs.
Boobies.
So we have a boobometer, which occasionally will pop up when discussing a movie, when it's applicable. Not in certain situations, i.e. martyrs or the women, does that meter raise its head?
No. It's only if it's in the boobs are employed in the comedy, horror, schlocky, slasher kind of sort of, safe area of the genre, I suppose you'd say. And we do laughably say that the scale runs from double A to double D, but we don't often actually give scores, but it was just a funny thing we came up with.
Yes. We're not misogynists in any way, people. Honestly, this is just a loving homage.
I was brought up to the dictionary definition of that recently, and do you know what? I'm not going to use that word anymore.
Okay.
Because I think it's been misconstrued a little, because it basically means hatred of women.
Oh, no. Yeah,
no,
we don't do that.
So if we talk about boobs, we're not being misogynistic, because we're celebrating the boobage, and it's just respecting nature's wonderful creation, that's all.
Exactly.
Oh, God, we probably put off so many people already.
Probably. But don't worry, we'll talk about man boobs too, so that just evens it all up as well.
Yes.
There you go. And also, we do some running standoffs, I guess, since the very beginning, which we currently have a poll going. So if you go to www.thelittlepodofhorrors.com and look through the posts there, you will find a poll, or 3 polls actually, for our long-running standoffs, which is where Mr. Boz and I disagree entirely on certain movies or even franchises, and we like to have some fun with it. And
I think you'll find it's titled Gordon's Wrong.
Well, the listeners shall decide, Mr. Boz. The listeners shall decide. This all starts back with when I had to watch the Evil Dead trilogy, or Evil Dead trilogy. Way back when the show very, very first started under Little Pod of Horrors, back in 2010, when it was on for a couple of months. I sat down at a listener's request, and put myself through Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness, and came out with it going, what the fuck did I just watch? Why do people like this? Yada, yada, yada.
You watched them on your own, though, didn't you?
I did watch them on my own, and I wasn't drunk.
You went wrong.
Yeah. And I was too old, I think, at the time. No, I'm not 50s or whatever, but I just came to it too late, I think. Well, that's what I'm trying to say, to redeem myself from the people who go, you don't like Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2, you're weird. But I loved Evil Dead, the remake. So I redeemed myself there, I think.
Yeah, we have some common ground there.
Yes. So we have some fun with that one. The other 2 we've got going is, which is better, Shark Night 3D or Piranha 3D, which is Shark Night for me, by the way. And and also the latest one we're adding is You're Next, which seemed to cause a little bit of a controversy, which is a fairly recent one. And from looking at the poll results, more people are swinging with me at the moment.
Yeah, okay, just not enough people have seen it. That's what I'm putting that down to. So
Quite
go
possibly.
see You're Next, everybody. Get on there and vote. And I am actually going to watch it again to see if I was completely wrong.
Okay.
And whether the cinema magic tainted it slightly. Well, not tainted it, pushed it in favour, because I was so absorbed with it all. But yeah, I'm going to watch it again. Okay. And when we do the results show, it'll be fresh in my mind, and we can talk about it then.
Awesome.
Do you realise this is becoming the Your Next show? I think we have talked about Your Next on the last 5 or 6 episodes or something.
Yeah, I think
it gets
been
a
brought
mention every week.
It does. It's worth a watching for people to debate. And if you're in the US anyway, it's on Netflix now. Cool. So you can go ahead and stream that, people, and send your thoughts in. And then finally, we have a little thing we like to call the Little Pod of Classics. Which is just our kind of pantheon, where we put in some classic movies that, should aliens come down and dig up this little pod, then they would get to watch the very best, or what we think is the very best, of horror. Now, there's not many entries in there. We don't do it very regularly, although we're going to be hopefully changing that, because the next choice is mine, and I'm really struggling with what to put in there. I might want to be a dick and be a bit controversial. Who knows? Just for a bit of fun. But currently we've got in there Hellraiser, Scream, and Deep Red.
That's a good collection, I think.
It's a good start. And we also have a very special guest putting in a very special entry as well.
We do.
So we shall tease that for our big upcoming show on September 15th.
Yep.
That is the only show, people, you will ever get a date from us as to when it's going to get released.
because it's coming out simultaneously with the movie. So.
Yes. Boz had a very special interview with director Owen Tooth about his movie Devil's Tower, which he got to see before anybody who worked on it outside the cast and crew.
Yes,
and then I was
non-cast member.
Yes,
yeah.
And I was shortly behind that, so that was a great honour to do that, and we're very excited about bringing you that show. So that'll be September 15th. So put that in the iTunes diary, people. And that's pretty much it. So that's just a quick, rough brief down for all the new listeners, or hopefully new listeners.
All two of you. Hello.
Yes. You can add to the other two, which is Andrew and Natalie. So hi. And
I have to actually mention Natalie. Natalie is our amazing Australian listener who sends us awesome feedback and recommends films we've never heard of.
Yes.
She's also a competition winner from way back Christmas time. I know this has taken a long time, but I've been finalising the design because Fright Fest is coming up this weekend, and I wanted a new T-shirt to wear so I can pimp the shit out of the show while I'm at Fright Fest.
Yeah.
So, Natalie, you will be getting the new improved design, which has been sorted out. It's still the same logo, but it's the layout of the T-shirt itself. And I have to thank Laura Fudge for sorting that out for us. She's amazing. She's also getting a T-shirt for helping.
Awesome.
So once I see it and I'm happy with it and I think it's good enough, I will be getting yours and I will be shipping it over. I have not forgotten about you.
Yay.
So just had to squeeze that in there.
Yes, fantastic. We do encourage feedback to the show. We love getting feedback, whether it's good, bad, critique, whatever.
Ugly or Jonathan Wilkinson.
Yes. He's going to get you. You still got to watch Big Bad Wolves, by the way.
I have got to watch Big Bad Wolves, but yeah, I shouldn't insult Johnny
too
much either because I've got to go and sit in a cinema with him for 2 days at the end of this year watching horror movies. So,
no, yes.
Yeah.
You'll be lucky to come out of that one alive then. Okay, so with all that out of the way, let's just jump right into the usual format of the show. We are going to be talking about a movie in depth towards the end of it. We shall keep you on tenterhooks for that one. But I have been watching a couple of horror movies in the last week. It's only been a week since we recorded, so I haven't had a huge chance to catch up on lots of things. But continuing with a kind of theme from the last show, I've been trying to watch some stuff that is going to be on at Fright Fest 2014.
Oh, goody. And not spoil any of them for me.
I'm not going to spoil any of them for you. They're both, or one of them is going to be on the big screen, the other one's not going to be on the big screen. It's going to be on a Discovery screen.
Okay.
So it was the way if you have people, I'm just going to have to explain. If you haven't listened to the last show yet, and you listened to them out of order or whatever, we lost about 45 minutes of conversation.
Really good conversation. I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, these things happen, so they do. So unfortunately, we just lost some chunks. So we did talk a little bit about some thoughts I had on there, and the reason I'm getting to see these movies before Boz is because Fright Fest this year seems to be a lot of UK premieres for whatever reason, rather than world premieres or anything like that. So these movies have been doing the festival circuit, it would appear, for a little while, or have been released in other territories before they hit the British market. So I have watched two, and I'll let you tell me which one you'd like me to kind of quickly go over first. The first one was Wolf Creek 2. I went back and gave that a second chance, or a third chance. And then I also watched Stage Fright.
Oh, did you now?
I did, yes. Because I spent about an hour yesterday watching as many trailers as I could of all the upcoming movies that's going to be playing on the main screen. Some of which I couldn't find. They weren't on YouTube and I didn't go digging elsewhere. But from the ones that I did watch and I could find on Netflix, Stage Fright it kind of grabbed my attention. So I kind of had to watch that one.
Is it a remake of the original, as spoken about by Al the other week?
Well, that's what I thought, but I don't think it is.
Right.
And the reason being is that this is a musical horror.
Oh, that's so far up my alley, it's just not even funny.
I so wanted to message you last night, and in fact, for people who follow their Facebook page, there will have been a post which I think said, Mini Driver plus Meatloaf plus musical plus horror, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Did it go wrong?
And then I put a comment in there saying, 5 minutes in, and this could quite possibly be the best movie of the year.
Yes! Oh, I'm so looking forward to this. You know what's really annoying is I'm on American Netflix at the moment, and I saw it last night, and I was like, I could click.
No,
I'm not. I'm going to see this
don't.
in the cinema with everybody else.
Yes.
Because if there's sing-along, I'm on board.
This movie was a fucking shitload of fun.
Brilliant.
Loved it. And now I think you've got to appreciate musicals, or have some sort of, not love, but appreciation for the musical genre.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everybody go out there and watch Les Mis and sound music and just have some
the
sort
Book of Mormon.
of... The Book of Mormon, yes. And I think you will have a lot of fun with this movie, and I think this movie is going to go down a storm at Fright Fest. I really hope it does. I really hope it does. And I cannot wait for you to see this. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait till I think it's the Sunday night it plays.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think it is, or is it the Monday? I'm not sure. Excuse me while I scroll through my notes. I do take notes, people, honest. Yeah, it's the last movie on Sunday night.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll need to pick me up by then.
Yes. Yeah, because this is going to be, your 20th movie or something like that of the festival. So I think this should be a good pick-me-up to finish the weekend and go into Monday. Hopefully. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. It was awesome. I mean, this is a real solid kind of 4-star movie the first time I watched it. I don't know if
we could put that on Richard's list.
Yes, we could. He's the big musical fan that he is. But I don't know if it'll hold up on a rewatch, because I know what to expect now. I know what's coming up, but it was a lot of fun. I'll just leave it at that. We will talk about this one more once Boz has seen it at Fright Fest.
Yeah.
And we can spoil the shit out of it for people. So you've got a couple of weeks, guys and gals, to go out there and seek it and send in the feedback.
Again, it depends which screen I'm in as to when it's on. If I'm in the Arrow screen, it's the last film Sunday night, but it could be 6:30 if I'm in the Film 4 screen. So.
Oh, that's right. I was looking at the Arrow screen and just going through that format the show schedule there. I keep forgetting that they keep playing them around. So I don't know if I really don't know if it'd be better to watch it early or late.
Yeah,
it's one of these weird ones. I'm glad they're giving it a screening. I think it'll go down a storm, but I think it might have been better early on. Maybe a kind of Friday or one of the closing ones on Monday or something like that. I don't know. Who am I to tell those three guys how to schedule their movies?
Well, if I'm really flagging by the end of Monday, to be honest, I'll be honest now. The last film, The Signal.
Yeah.
I can't be asked. They've not done a good job of selling that one to me. Granted, I haven't watched the trailer.
Yeah.
But there is this little thing in the back of my mind going, if I'm really tired, I might just not stay for the last film. But then I don't want to miss the wrap-up and everything like that, so I probably will. But that's just a bit of an admission there.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not, from the ones that I went to in the past, it's not a huge wrap-up, so you're not really going to miss that much.
Okay.
Because I think by that point, everyone's just tired and wants to get to the pub for the big after-show party. To be honest. And this one's you're going to find this movie at some point in the next few months.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not as if it's one of those ones that are going to be obscure and you're going to have to try and track it down in 18 months' time if it ever gets a release. This is going to get a release.
Yeah, like Big Bad Wolves.
Yeah. This is going to get a release, so you've not got a problem on that one, I think.
Cool.
Have you watched any of the trailers? Or are you trying to go in as cold as possible?
I'm trying to go in cold on some, but I've sort of seen others. Like The Guest is trailing. That's the opening movie.
Yeah,
that's trailing in mainstream cinema. So when I went to see Purge Anarchy, that was on there.
Yes.
To be honest, the trailer on that didn't really sell it to me. But it's like, well, it's the opening movie, so obviously I'm going to catch that.
Yeah.
Just having a quick think. Zombievers, obviously I've seen the trailer for that.
Yes.
That's kind of mandatory. Sin City 2, you can't avoid the trailer for that.
Yeah.
Green Inferno, there's not much of a trailer for that, and I still haven't managed to track down if that's still playing or not.
Fingers crossed it will be. Fingers crossed.
Because it's not a distribution question, it's a screener effectively for festival audience. So there's no reason why that they should pull it at all. This is just a money thing, isn't it? So
that's what they've been saying anyway. So hopefully they've given the permissions, and this is another way of getting the excitement built up for it and actually proving, hey, release the damn thing and you'll make some money from it.
Yeah,
or you'll get your money back in the DVD market or video on demand or something like that. It looks as though it should be one that should be watched with an audience, though, from the trailer anyway.
Yeah. I think I've seen the trailer for I Survived the Zombie Holocaust, All Cheerleaders Die. So I've seen a few, but not all of them.
Okay.
Whether I will or not, I don't know, actually. So.
Okay. I just watched them all, so I'm going to try and put up a little blog post while you're there.
Cool.
So you can tell me which ones were wrong or which ones I'm potentially wrong on, going by the trailer and some brief thoughts. So,
well, the cool thing is with some of them being on American Netflix is because I'm abandoning my beloved for 4 days. It's probably going to be the hardest part of it for me.
Yeah.
In solidarity, there's a few films. Once she knows which screen I'm in the schedule, there's about 3 of the movies she can watch at the same time.
Oh, that's really cool.
So afterwards I can go, what do you think?
I never thought about that. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, so that's the plan as it stands at the moment.
Cool.
So, if she's in.
Yeah. She has to. If you're staying 4 days in a darkened room with a bunch of people, then she should stay in.
No, she'd have to stay in a dark room on her own.
Oh, yeah, that's good. No.
She can go out and meet other people, that's fine.
Yes. She's free for 4 days.
Yeah, I'll probably come back with a note. Yeah, I'm still in Spain. See you Wednesday.
Yeah, bye.
So what was the other one?
Wolf Creek 2.
Wolf Creek 2, yes, of course. That I've actually decided because it's on the Discovery screen, and I don't want to miss any of the main screen movies.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to watch it before I go.
Okay.
So we will definitely talk about that next time. But compared to the first one, which I really didn't like,
the first one didn't really stick in my mind very much, and I'm going to have to try and seek her out just to see. The opening scene of Wolf Creek 2 was very reminiscent of Wolf Creek from the part that I remembered, and then that was it. I mean, the good thing is it's got the same whack job in there.
He is good.
He is awesome. I mean, he really sells it, which is great. There's a lot of humour in this one, and it took like 20 minutes or so to get going after the opening scene, because it does start with a bit of a bang and then kind of slows down a little bit while it introduces you to new characters. And
it's already better than the last one.
Yeah.
Which just started with nothing, and then nothing happened, and then nothing happened, and then nothing happened, and then really stupid things happened. Sorry.
There are a bunch of really stupid things in this one, but I really enjoyed it actually, and it just reinforces the fact that I'm never, ever, 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 ever going camping or backpacking in the Australian outback. Ever. Sorry. Nope. I'm sorry. Natalie? No. Never. Not a chance. This might not be the best thing for the Australian Tourist Board, but I know it's only a movie. But hey, this could happen, people. And they sell Wolf Creek 2 as being a true story. But they sell Wolf
do
Creek
they?
1. Yeah, but they sell Wolf Creek 1 as being based on true story as well. Because people do go missing in the Australian outback.
I'm not surprised, but you see, that's probably got nothing to do with a crazed killer. You see, my main objection with going to Australia at all is that everything from microbe size upwards is designed to kill human beings. So it's like you don't have to run into a psychopath with a knife. You just got to tread on the wrong creepy crawly and you're dead.
That's very true. Doesn't make for as exciting a movie, though, but that's very true.
And it can't be that dangerous because there is quite a large indigenous human population. But that's my, living thousands of miles away opinion of Australia. Just think about it. There was never an episode of Neighbours where Harold Bishop ran in with a black widow spider stuck to his face going, "Ah!" That would have been brilliant.
Yeah, Neighbours uncut. Neighbours are dark or whatever. But I think that they're doing it a disservice by putting it on the Discovery screen, to be honest. From looking at some of the movies that I've seen they put on the big screen, I think they should have put this on the big screen.
I'm really surprised it's not. Really surprised.
From some of the scenes that's in there, I think this is one that definitely will be enjoyed with an audience. Because you can hear people cheering or going, "Ah!" or laughing or whatever.
Yeah.
That's going on there. It's very, very well done. And for a sequel, I really enjoyed it. But like I say, I can't really remember the first one. Maybe that's because there's nothing really memorable about it. I'm not sure. I just watched it so long ago. But I'm definitely going to try and seek it out again so I can compare and contrast the two. But well worth a watch, people. Solid, middle-of-the-road slasher film.
Another 3 stars there, then.
I was trying to avoid 3 stars. That's why I went middle of the road.
2.75.
Yes, but I would put it up on the 3.25 because I'm recommending people to watch it. And you don't have to have seen the first one to watch this one. It's a complete standalone, to be honest.
I was thinking, we so often struggle with the whole star rating thing. And I was wondering if we should introduce our own scale of stars. So we'll give it stars out of 50. No one does that, do they?
No, they don't. It's very true.
It's no different.
Nope. There you go. Out of 50. Well, then in that case, this is a 32.
Okay. Much more precise. That helps me.
Make of that what you will, people. It's a 32.
We could call it the 50 Shades of Death scale.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yes, new listeners, this is what you can expect from us.
I was going to say, you're the boss. You can fire me at any point you want, honestly. The puns get too bad.
No, because I can't come up with this shit on my own. Oh, okay. So basically that's me with the exception of the movie we're going to talk about. That's what I spent my afternoon yesterday watching.
It sounds like time well spent.
It was, yes. I'm very glad. I did not have a bad day watching 3 movies. 3 completely different genres or subgenres of horror, and not a bad one was watched. So
brilliant. That makes a change, doesn't it?
Yeah. So a slight spoiler for what's coming up, I guess. But
yeah.
Damn it.
Right. Well, the first one I'm going to mention before, I do have a Beers for Boz.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things I want to talk about apart from that.
Yeah.
I was staying at my parents this week, so I was out all week, and my dad occasionally flicks past the horror channel. And there was a film on there called Blue Steel.
Okay.
And it was 18 rated, and it had, what's her name? Runaway Screaming from Michael Myers, coat hanger in the face.
Jamie
really
Lee
famous
Curtis?
horror icon. People are going to kill me for not remembering her name. Yeah, it's
Jamie
Jamie
Lee?
Lee
Yeah,
Curtis.
okay.
Yeah, just the most famous horror lady ever. That's fine. Yeah, so she's in it, and it said, it's sort of a serial killer type thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, but the thing that hooked me in, made me watch it, was directed by Catherine Bigelow.
Yes.
Who did Hurt Locker, and is a very talented director. So I thought, this could be good. And for the time, because I didn't look at when it was made, it was probably like early 90s by the looks of it. It's pretty well shot, and Curtis is good in it. But it's basically she becomes a cop at the beginning of the movie, goes to a convenience store, guy robs a convenience store. No, it's one over the street. She sees it happening over the street, so she goes in through the back door.
Okay.
Basically trains one eye and a gun on this guy. He tries to draw down on her, and she just blasts him out the window. And he drops his gun, and this guy in a suit in the shop, one of the punters, grabs the gun.
Okay.
So then she's in trouble because the gun's gone missing from the crime scene, and she's like, oh well, you can't prove he drew on you, and all this kind of thing, and all the witnesses are shit, and nobody says anything. But the funny thing is, the guy, I don't know his name, but he's always got a beard in films, and we saw him doing his shopping before this scene kicks off. And I said to my dad, he's a bad guy, he's always a bad guy.
Okay.
Sure enough, this guy gets the gun, becomes obsessed with it, and just randomly shoots people in the street as a bit of a power trip. He's a stockbroker, he's got money, he can pay an expensive lawyer, but basically just goes off the deep end with the power of guns and all this kind of thing. But no one knows it's him, and he sort of arranges to bump into her because he's kind of obsessed with her a little bit.
Yeah.
Because she was cool with the gun, and it's this really weird sort of gun worshipy, not really serial killer, just guy shooting people set up. And it's the most annoying, I've got you now. Ah, yes, but I've got a technicality and I'm going to walk away. I've got you this time. But my lawyer's here and you can't do anything. I'm going to walk away. And I've just shot your best friend. And you didn't see my face, though, so I'm going to walk up and just fucking shoot him already. And then at the end of the movie, I'm like, okay, not my kind of movie. Perfectly acceptable for somebody who likes that sort of somewhere between, I don't even know where you put it between, because it's not a creepy guy thing. It's a, like a horror monster thing. But it is just somebody running. I suppose it's Dirty Harry and Lethal Weapon without the comedy.
Okay.
I don't know, it's something like that. Just a cop thing. And I was just like, what the fuck is this doing on the horror channel?
Yeah, it doesn't sound very horror-y.
It was really surprising. I thought maybe there's some good gore in it, or some good suspense. There's a few little suspenseful scenes. You're thinking, well, yeah, she's done well at building the bit where she's sort of creeping through the shop and the guy's holding the cashier hostage. Yeah, she does a good job building tension there, but by no means does it come anywhere near the horror genre. So it's a bit of a weird choice, and it's just like I get a bit annoyed when that happens, because afterwards, because I couldn't normally, I'd have turned it off probably, because I'm like, this isn't what was billed, advertised. But,
Yeah.
I'd agreed to watch it with my dad, and he seemed to be enjoying it, so I just, in for the ride. Yeah. But I walk away going, there's so many fucking films I have to watch. There's so many films on my list, and I've just wasted 2 hours of my life on this one. It's slightly annoying.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that's more a thriller, and someone's just thought, let's just throw it in here so we can put an extra one on our catalogue or something. I don't know.
It is something like that. Damn. So, a bit disappointing, really. I say, not a bad film by any stretch of the imagination. It's well made, well directed, whatever, but just wasn't what I was hoping for. So, But I did have a couple of redeeming things this week, and one of which was my choice of audiobook, and I have to put a massive thank you to our other listener, Andrew, because I put a help out on Facebook this week, because I wanted some decent horror books.
Uh-huh.
And I really don't have much luck just picking them randomly myself.
Yeah.
And he recommended a book he hadn't read, but said, I've heard good things about it.
Okay.
And it's called The Troop by Nick Cutter.
Okay.
And it's basically about a scout troop on an island with their scout leader on like an expedition thing.
Uh-huh.
They're going to be picked up by boat in 3 days or whatever.
Right.
And a creepy thin guy goes into a restaurant, eats loads and loads of food, walks out, steals a boat, ends up on this island, and walks up to the scout hut where they're all staying.
Mm-hmm.
And the scout leader is a doctor, so he tries to help him, and he's a bit beyond help, and he's absolutely emaciated, nothing, just bone and skin, basically. And it basically takes off from there. It's very reminiscent of Infected by Scott Sigler, that sort of thing. And I said on his Facebook yesterday, have you heard of this book? And he just went, yep. Posted back to me that he'd done a full review on Goodreads. But not only that, is Scott Sigler himself gave it 5 stars.
Uh-huh.
So if that tells you it's a book worth checking, if that doesn't tell you it's a book worth checking out, then, nothing will. So I just sent back, great minds think alike. I haven't finished it yet, actually. But it's one of those I just listened to whenever I could, all the time. I just ran out of available hours, that was all. So,
well, my Audible credit's coming up this month. Should be any day now, so maybe I'll check that one out.
I would. It's very, very good. Very well written, and the nasty bits are suitably nasty. It's descriptive in a really good way. The pacing's good. It didn't... Often I find I can drift off a little bit if I'm doing something else, or my concentration can waver.
Yeah.
A good book will always hold my attention. And that's what I love about horror, because nothing does that like horror. It just keeps me fully engaged. So if anybody else has recommendations for good books that are available on Audible like that, I'd very much like to know about them, because this one was brilliant. Or is brilliant so far. So I haven't even got to the end yet, and I'm sure it ramps up towards the end. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all plays out.
Awesome. Did this come out before or after Mr. Sigler's Infected?
I had no idea.
Okay.
As usual, I do no research.
Okay. No, that's why I just wasn't sure. Just when you said it was very reminiscent of Infected, I didn't know if it was like a before or after thing, or just because you're so in love with Mr. Sigler's story.
Well, everything gets compared to him. It's like
we
used to... oh, there we go. Just played a bit. No, it doesn't have any releases details on here. Not on the app, anyway. Oh, no, hold on. Details. Oh, here we go. The audio release was 25th of February 2014.
Oh, that's new then.
Yeah. So definitely an author to watch.
Oh, yeah. Never heard of him, but that's not saying anything. That
when I find someone like that, I do tend to mainline everything they've done. So I don't know if he's got a back catalogue or if that's his first effort, whatever. I'll keep you posted if there's more.
Yeah, cool. Definitely.
Yeah, that was it. So that leads me to my beers for Boss.
A is for apple. B is for
Buzz.
C is for crayons. D is for drum.
Like Scrotum, here it is in a nutshell.
So, I talked about watching this Blue Steel film. Mm-hmm. And that meant I was looking at the Horror Channel's lineup for that evening. And starting at midnight that night was a film called Sexy Killer. Now, me being me, and with the boobometer in mind, I didn't for a second hesitate in just getting my Sky Go app out and going, record that. But no, the synopsis looked quite fun. But I thought, it's probably terrible with a title like that. Sexy Killer, who calls a film that?
Yeah.
Then I noticed it's a Spanish movie.
Ooh.
So I'm like, oh, it's probably just a really bad translation. You know, it's probably got a much better name in Spanish. They often do. So we watched this yesterday, and I put it on, and it's like, yeah, pretty much filmed, funded in Catalonia. So we're like, yay! And yeah, in the title sequence, basically, she carves into a cadaver the words "sexy killer" in English, and you're like, oh, okay. This is a very knowing film, then.
Okay.
And it basically starts... I'm going to spoil the beginning because you can't spoil this movie, okay? I do recommend everyone goes to see it, and I've tipped my hand already. This is a good B is for Boz movie. I have found one that I watched because I thought it would be terrible, and I loved it.
About time.
So, we start in the girls' changing rooms, the locker rooms, various states of undress. They're like, yes, I see where this is going. And a guy comes in a knockoff Scream outfit, okay? And the back of the lockers and whatever. And it's quite funny how it's obviously a Scream mask, but for copyright reasons, nothing like a Scream mask. And a big rubber knife. And he comes running around the corner and just starts pulling open the curtains in the shower cubicles, and there's steam everywhere. And then he sort of looks through the steam, and there's a figure the other side. And there's somebody in exactly the same outfit who slashes at him and cuts his arm, and blood. He's like, I just wanted to look at naked girls, and goes running out of the changing room. Goes running through the school, turns back round. He's on the floor, blood all over him. And this girl you've seen in the opening sort of scenes, and you can tell there's something a bit edgy about her. She comes into the hallway, and he goes, no, get out of here, there's a killer. And she goes, like with that much enthusiasm, and runs back into the locker room. Just like really well done. No, save me. So he goes, no, don't go back in there. So he runs in to save her, and she's by a locker, and he looks in the locker, and you can see the white face in the locker there. He's like, oh, he's in your locker, he's in your locker. And she's like, really? And he goes forward, he turns around, and she basically just cuts his throat.
Nice.
Because she is the sexy killer.
Ah.
And it's her we are following in this movie. Now, I would love to go through this scene by scene and tell you everything that happened. There are so many nods to the horror genre, other franchises. The guys who made this movie love horror.
Awesome.
And it's really funny. There's some pretty inventive kills. And a twist at the end I was not expecting. It's set up as a slasher flick, and it turns into something else. And normally I'd like to be quite extensive, because normally I watch such a shit movie. We do beers for Boz, and then I go, I'm going to go frame by frame and just spoil it, because nobody cares. This is so bad. But this is actually a film everybody should try and find. Now, I already told Gordon, and it's virtually impossible for you, wasn't it? So
yeah, I couldn't find it on any streaming service to buy or anything like that for rent or even to buy. So it was very difficult. I haven't looked to actually go out and purchase the DVD itself. In fact, while I'm doing that, we can talk about that. But I'm sure it's on there. In fact, yes, I can buy it from the UK.
okay.
Yeah, Region 2 for some reason for like £17.
Oof.
Yeah, that is bizarre. So it looks as though it doesn't got much of a release. But that's just gone by Amazon. I'm sure I can find it somewhere if I went to a proper horror website or whatever.
Well, see, I sort of hesitate to say to you, yes, you should buy this because it's that good, because, you're so very often wrong about movies. So I wouldn't want you to waste your money, but no, honestly, I think you would love this one because it's an out-and-out comedy. There's no hiding the comedy. It's a bit of a love letter to Scream and a bit Shaun of the Dead and a bit so many other, like, memes, I suppose, going on inside it. So definitely, there's a couple of times I laughed out loud at things that happened in this movie.
Oh, that's good then.
So yeah, and it finished, and I went, oh, I love it. In fact, we finished watching it. It's still on my DVR because I'm going to see it again.
Yeah, you might keep it on now.
Yeah, or it's just someone's going to come around. I'm going to go, you got to watch this.
Yeah.
Sexy Killer, people, look it up, go find it.
And if you can find it, tell me where you found it.
Yes. Now, I did look at... some people may remember we talked a while back about a horror streaming website where you could rent or buy films digitally. And we thought they'd gone out of business because I couldn't remember the name. And when I searched for streaming horror, it wasn't coming up in Google or anything like that. It's in the new Fright Fest guide. Again, there's an advert for it.
Oh, there you go.
It's The Horror TV. Sorry. And he's going to leave that in as well, bastard.
Damn right.
TheHorrorshow.tv.
Okay.
And it's not on there. But they know what they're doing. They have a the horror subgenres. Actually, I'm going to read them. You got Asian horror, bargain horror, British horror, cult and classic horror, new horror movies, psychological horror, sexy and erotic horror, slasher and gory horror, Starburst's top 10 horror movies. Now, I don't think that's the sweets.
Okay, so I say, what the hell?
TheHorrorshow.tv exclusives and zombie horror. Sadly, they haven't got this movie. They should have this movie. And if I bump into anybody at Fright Fest who's got anything to do with this website, I will say, you have to get this movie. But, it's all about the licenses. And when you've got Love Film and Netflix buying up as many horror licenses as they can get their hands on, it must be bloody difficult. But I do think we need to support this website because it is a good way of getting hold of some more obscure movies.
Well, that's good then. Some of them, I'm just sort of having a quick look. And one of the weird things, because you get so many streaming services now, depending on what you choose to do, that you do Amazon or Netflix or whatever over here, some they tend to take over because they can show them for free. So some of the movies on here you can actually find for free, but if you live in the right area, and obviously that changes all the time. So there is a very good range in there. Excuse me. So it seems to be covering a whole lot of different little genres and some ones I've never heard of, and some more of the mainstream.
Well, they have Cabin Fever 3.
Yeah, there's a Cabin Fever 3.
Which I plan to watch. Because 2 is...
Oh, yeah, that is a
admittedly a misstep. This one's got Sean Astin in it.
Oh,
if you watch
really?
the trailer, it looks really good, because 2 was just batshit stupid, and we were mortified to find out that it was Ty West, but it was one of those films I don't think he had any creative control over. I hope not. Yeah. But I suppose everyone's allowed a misstep. So,
Very true. That's very true. Oh, yeah, Cabin Fever, Patient Zero. So it's a fucking prequel.
And interestingly, the film you mentioned last time, The Conspiracy, is on there as well.
Ah, there you go. See? Watch that. That's like a 26, maybe.
26? Do I have to pay?
Yeah.
Is it worth £3.49?
No.
Or do I just wait for it to turn up somewhere else?
No. Wait for it to turn up somewhere else, or if you get like a free voucher or something, then probably spend your free voucher on something else. Don't pay more than £1 for it.
Okay.
Because it's not really horror. Well, it's psychological more than anything, but it's more thriller.
Well, there's one here which is a cheaper rent. It's £2.49. It's got the worst title, Paranormal Asylum.
Oh, I've seen that on
you're
Netflix.
trying to genre blend a bit there, are we?
I think I've seen that on Netflix. I'm not sure.
I haven't. That's the first time I've seen it. But
maybe I'm just making that up. I don't know. I see so much stuff on Netflix when I'm just looking through to see what they've actually got that everything tends to kind of blend together.
What I like about this site is they put a little blood splat on the cover art. And if it's exclusive to them, they put a VOD exclusive splat on the movie.
Oh, cool.
There's one here called Separation, which I've never heard of, which looks interesting. So, there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch anything over here, or it's going to be UK specific.
Don't know.
I need to look up their FAQs and stuff to see.
But if you're in the UK, have a look at this site, and we need to support sites like this, especially if they're getting some of the more obscure titles that we just can't find anywhere else.
Yeah. Oh, they've got the woman on there. There you go.
Market
Watch
quality.
that, people. Oh, that's an exclusive. So that's weird. It must be a UK exclusive. I don't know.
Yeah, licensing is different in each country, isn't it? So it depends who's got what at the time.
Oh, definitely. That's way worth $2.
I'll tell you what else is also on there is Wither, which is that one I talked about a few shows ago, which is a legitimate love letter to the evil dead, is what they're calling it. And I think it's fast, ferocious, graphic, and gory tale of demonic possession with a Scandinavian twist. That's the one where the guy just kills a zombie, then puts his weapon down and runs away. It's like, pick it up! But it's a Swedish film. So
Swedish films can be good.
It wasn't... I don't know if it's worth all the accolades it's got, but there's a lot worse out there. And if you like that, if you want a nice cabin in the woods type movie to complement your Evil Dead watching, it's worth a look. So there's quite a few on here I'd probably look at, actually. Also, they've got the Tetsuo Body Hammer and Tetsuo the Iron Man, which are fairly niche Japanese movies. Very off the wall. a body hammer. So if you're interested in that, you can get. They've got a good Asian selection there. So yeah, there's a free advert for them. They're not sponsoring us, but there we are. We're nice like that.
Yeah, but if they want to sponsor us,
yeah, by all means. I'll send them a link when this show goes out.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, they've also got Birth of the Living Dead, which is the really cool documentary that I have to watch yet, about the making of Night of the Living Dead. Oh my God, they made a Pulse 3? That was a terrible movie, Pulse.
Should we really be surprised because we're on Wrong Turn 6 or Wrong Turn 7, so we are.
Oh, I've just seen, okay, never seen this before. The poster is a noose, and the film is called 9 Dead. But it stars Melissa Joan Hart.
No way. Oh, that's definitely on Netflix.
Okay.
Because I think I put that in my
Right.
queue. My queue's got lots of shit in there that I never actually watched, so I don't know why I put them in my first
Well, it's good to
queue.
know if this is UK only, then at least some of them are available on Netflix there, so that's good.
I think this is on Netflix. I could be completely wrong. I'm going to have to look that up or check it out at some point. But yes, it is. It's on Netflix. I just saw the poster. But yeah, it's like I say, I've gone through there and go, yep, I'll watch that. Yeah, I'll watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch that. Yeah, I'll watch that. And then when I go, what am I going to watch? I'll look through my queue and go, I don't
Yeah, I
want to
did
watch,
that as well.
watch any of that shit.
I'm not really in the mood for that. I'm dreadful. I swear these sites have just made it so that they take our money, and all we do is sit there and scroll through their menus and then walk away again.
Pretty much. The kids get more out of it than I do.
Well, you know I get stick for not watching classics. Yeah, classic horror movies very much.
I'm just as
I
bad,
have
right?
to say that this website has got exactly my kind of classics on it. Yeah,
That's
because you've got Demons 2, Tenebrae's on there, Opera, Island of Death is on there. My God. That's the one I was saying, like, nobody should ever watch, and it's on here. I'm actually quite impressed by that. I imagine it's possibly censored.
You're going to watch it now, aren't
Yes. Sorry. The Card Player by Dario Argento. That's a film I've never seen. Deadly Spawn, Pieces. These are all, like, really good, just scrungy horror movies, classics. Yeah, check it out, people. Sorry, I've just given them just a massive advert. Should we move on? Sorry.
If we don't get a sponsorship deal out of this, damn it. Or at least a free ride.
Yeah, one of the cheap ones. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, exactly. Give us a quid.
Oh, Stag Night of the Dead's on there. Do not watch that movie. Dead Hooker in the Trunk's on there. There we are. If you want your
Ooh,
introduction
there you
to
go.
the Soska Sisters, this is the place to go. Right, so
Speaking of the Soska sisters, have you watched the trailer for See No Evil
No,
2, whatever it's called?
didn't know the trailer was out.
Yeah, the trailer came out a couple
You
of
don't
weeks
sound
ago.
impressed.
I'm not. Now I know it's very, very difficult to do a horror trailer right, and I have a very limited history with the Soska sisters, and obviously American Mary is like
So good.
a 47 maybe on our
Yeah.
scale or whatever. It's an awesome movie, and you've told me to watch Dead Hooker in the Trunk, and if I can find it, I will, if I actually remember to watch it. So I was a bit excited. Casino Evil, I watched at Fright Fest a few years ago, and it's a run-of-the-mill slasher. It's nothing fantastic. It's a solid 2.5. I'm trying to put things in a new scale. We really should come up with this before recording. It's a solid 20 out of 50 kind of things. I mean, it's
So
not
2 out of
great,
5
but
then,
there's a lot worse. Yeah.
Actually, no, we have
there
to
you go, 2 out
ban
of
the
5.
10s. You can't have 20 out of 50. So you've got to be 21.
No, we can't have
or
things like that.
19.
We can only do odd numbers
Yeah.
only. So, 21. I'll put it on a 21. And I was a little bit excited seeing the Soska sisters going, okay, they're probably going to get a bit more money now. They're getting a mainstream slasher.
Yeah.
Could be a lot of fun. It just looks
I'm watching
awful.
it now.
It's too... I guess it's the recording equipment they're using as well. It just looks too slick, which is one of the movies that are showing at Fright Fest that I also saw the trailer for the last showing. And so the quality just looked too slick as
Yeah.
well on that.
Now, Al was making exactly that observation the other week. He said that's the problem with modern horror, is it looks too good.
Yeah, just needs to be taken off of the digital HD shot on red
Yeah.
cameras or whatever, and kind of go to a film or reduce the quality a little bit to just make it look so clean and so crisp. I don't want that because it just looks a bit artificial as well and kind of take you out a little. So I was very underwhelmed by the trailer. From the comments and stuff that I was seeing, I was in a minority on that, but we'll see. If it comes out on Netflix, I might give it a watch. just because it is the Soska sisters. If it wasn't them, I wouldn't go near
Well,
this.
if it wasn't them, I wouldn't
don't
watch
think-
it because the first thing that pops up on the trailer is a WWE logo, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, because they've got the guy that's playing Kane. It's Kane.
Yeah.
Is it Kane Hodder, or is he?
He's the bad
well,
guy.
yeah, so that's who's in it. So I think they're obviously that's probably how the movie got funded. Is the WWE
Yeah.
gave them the money and all.
Well, they've
honestly.
got a few quid.
I mean, they've got yeah, and they've got the main actress from American Mary. She's in it.
Oh, good.
I can't remember her name. Francesca, something like that. I could get that completely wrong, and I apologise because we haven't done our homework. We never
Yeah,
do homework.
we don't sit here surfing IMDb. You'll notice that.
No. And it's got Danielle Harris in it, which, I mean, she's kind of in a lot of horrors. Granted, not great horrors, but she's showing up. So, I mean, it's got some pretty ladies to look at, but I don't know. Very underwhelmed by the trailer.
It's
so
very
disappointed.
standard horror film trailer.
Yeah.
But maybe, it could be a curveball. Just throws off with the
It
style
could be.
of it.
It could be. Who knows? I'll wait till I actually hear of someone who's watched it that I can agree with their movie recommendations, or know that you're not getting bullshit because they're being sponsored by that particular, getting freebies from that particular marketing company or whatever. So someone I trust.
I was so hoping that film was going to be ready in time for Fright Fest, because then the Soska sisters would be coming to Fright Fest, but it's not on the list.
They
But they might turn up. Yeah, you never know.
You might get a surprise. Maybe a surprise
I
screening.
like surprises.
Hey, here you go. Wait till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And you can watch this. Good luck. Bye. We would like to move on to the main topic of discussion for today's show. This is one I've been meaning to check out for quite a while, as it has been on my Netflix queue for a long time. And I did start it a long time ago. I fell asleep because I was just in one of those phases and kind of never went back to it. But had been meaning to for a long time. This is a director who we have mentioned in the show, Mr. Ty West, who I love from House of the Devil. I absolutely love that movie. I still have not gone back and rewatched it because I'm scared to, because I held it in such high regard after coming out from Fright Fest with it and being so creeped out by it. So I was going into this one with a kind of great trepidation as well as to, oh God, try not to fuck it up. Plus, I know we laugh at IMDb people a lot, as is the rest of the world, because their rating system is completely shit. So they've got kind of House of the Devil on as like a 6.2, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's just bullshit. And they rated this movie as a 5.5, and the movie in question is 2011, The Innkeepers.
Do you know the story of Madeline O'Malley? She was the woman that died here in the hotel. She hung herself after her fiancé stood her up on their wedding day. And ever since then, people have reported seeing the ghost of Madeline O'Malley roaming the hallways waiting for her lover. Some say she's even looking to take up a new one. This is our last weekend open, so we've got to find some proof that Madeline O'Malley really exists before this place closes down.
I have my microphone so we can make do with EVP investigations.
Yes, I'd like a room for the night.
Since the hotel is practically empty, we might have a good chance of making some real contact.
What was that?
Did you hear that?
Hang on.
You want to communicate with the spirits in this hotel? I can help you do that.
What do they want?
Live. You mustn't go down into the basement.
Under a blanket of blue, just you and I beneath the stars. After the arms of sweet romance, the light of under a blanket of blue.
Now, this movie, for those of you who don't know, we're going to spoil the shit out of it, but it needs to be spoiled. I think it needs to be spoiled so we can do it some justice and we can actually talk about it openly and honestly. But before we do some spoilers, we'll do kind of just a general preamble on it. Brief synopsis is this motel or hotel called the Yankee Peddler Inn is closing down. So the movie's shot during the last weekend of it, and it's kind of following 2 employees. The star of Shark Night 3D, Miss Sarah Paxton.
That's where I knew her from?
Is it? Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That's been bugging me all day.
Again,
Again, I'm too fucking lazy to open IMDb on my mobile. It's in my pocket, and just go, where do I know her from? No, don't do that.
Yeah, that quality movie, Shark Night 3D. So she's in it, and then there's another guy I've never heard of him before, Pat Healy, is the other character. And then there's a couple of guests still in the hotel, one being Kelly McGillis, of Top Gun fame.
Time hasn't been kind.
I thought that too, but didn't want to say that, so thank you for saying it first. She definitely hasn't gone down the road of plastic surgery and all that stuff. She's just aged naturally. Yes, she's aged naturally. So she's one of the guests at the hotel, and basically the employees know the hotel or believe the hotel to be haunted, and they want to use this last weekend to try and get some definite proof that this hotel is haunted, so they can put it on the guy's website and actually show, hey, we've got a live haunting. We'll make millions from it. Blah, blah, blah. This is a very, very, very slow boiler, just in the same way as The House of the Devil. I think it's, an hour 40, there or thereabouts, and probably for an hour 25, nothing much is happening. But then when the shit hits the fan, oh boy, did it hit the fan. And for me, I am going to put this right up there, 41 out of 50.
Whoa.
I loved it when I came out the end of it. Now, granted, this could be the whole House of the Devil thing. One showing, I just got so engrossed with it. I was in the right frame of mind. Everything, all the stars were aligning properly. I don't know if it will live up to a proper rewatch, but first time viewing, I absolutely adored this and thought the ending was phenomenal and did not disappoint.
Okay.
Yeah. Or take it you didn't like it as much?
Not as much, but I
okay.
Only in so much as I'd rate it a few points lower. And I didn't do myself any favours in the way I watched it. I sort of split it in 2, which is not a good idea. Yeah. But you say it's a slow boiler, but it doesn't make you want to walk away from it because you kind of really like the characters. And there's some really humorous edges to it. And it's that the girl, she's just such an absolute dork. She's brilliant. There's a sequence with her trying to throw a bin bag in a dumpster. And it's hilarious. She's like 5 or 6 attempts because it's so heavy. So she's like tries to open it with one hand and slam it in with the other. Just gets halfway up and drops it on the floor. And the physical acting she does on those sort of bits, she's just a dork. There's no other word for it. But you really like her. You sympathise with her position and all this kind of thing. And even the guy she plays opposite, who you think I'm going to get pissed off with this guy, and you don't actually. And it's just. The thing I liked about it is there's nothing... He uses what he needs to use to make an effect. He doesn't overdo it. There's so many other films would have thrown everything, including the kitchen sink, effects and scares and things like this. It's a slow boiler, and that's why it works. And there's probably only a handful of really, scare scenes, I suppose you call it.
Yeah.
But because there's only a few of them, they're used really well. Quite economically. And I think possibly why I didn't come out with as much love is I've got to the point where I have that appetite of I want to see more, I want more scares, and then I sort of, when I watch a film that does have more, I get to the end of it and I go, there we did that.
Yeah.
So this leaves you wanting more, but in a good way. So that's how I'd sum it up probably.
Yeah, no, I loved the way that he shot this. I loved his use of sound in it and everything, because there are scenes in it where they're going around doing EMP recordings or whatever it is. EVP, sorry. And there's also a scene at the beginning where the guy, I'm going to have to try and find his name, it's Luke, is showing Sarah Paxton's character Claire a movie that he found on the internet. It's one of those, hey, look what I found, you've got to watch it really, really closely to see this. And you know what's coming, because we've all been there, we've all done that, we've shared them on Facebook, or we've tried to spook everybody with it. But the cool thing is, when she puts the headphones on, the sound changes. So when Luke's talking to her, you can hear him as she would hear him through the headphones. Little things like that is what I think he does fantastically. And they did the same with The House of the Devil, making it look like it was made in the 80s and it was frickin' made in 2000s. But it was just his attention to detail and things like that, and immersing you in the world is amazing, and he does that a couple of times through the movie, which I loved. I love the fact that when there are any shocks in here, there is no big loud piece of music that is designed to make you jump at the same time. You're freaked out by what you're seeing on the screen. You're not being emotionally manipulated by the soundtrack, which I thought was amazing as well. Claire, she's adorable. She is a geek. You do think Luke is he's got the hots for her. Yeah, you can see why. He seems to be that bit older, and he's the one who's trying to say, "Oh yeah, I'm this expert in paranormal activity. Look at me, I'm amazing. I know everything there is to know about it, and let me teach you the ways of the world and everything." And he's just kind of getting towards the end of his tether with it as well. This is what he wants. He needs the big money shot so he can make some money and have life after the
work in a shitty hotel, because they are shitty innkeepers, I have to say. Really shit at their jobs.
Yeah,
okay,
they are.
You've got no towels, sorry. You've only been here 3 days, I'll get you some.
The great thing was, it was his one-liner when she was like, "I'm in room 225. He's like, "Yeah, I know that. I work at the hotel." You smart ass. He's like, "I do that." You're like, "Yeah, fucking work here. There only are 2 people staying here." Duh. But one of the things it also brought back to me is I used to work in a hotel and did the night shift for a little while. Oh, I couldn't do it. It creeped the absolute hell out of me, because
The Shining.
when you're late at night, 2-3 in the morning, every little noise freaks you out. You're just naturally jumpy. You kind of don't want to look through that window just in case there's something on the other side. The building settling and creaking, it's just all really freaky. So I was kind of reminiscent of my time as walking through it was a very small hotel, but still having to walk through corridors and doors and everything like that. So it kept bringing those kind of memories back to me. But yes, Kelly McGillis plays a healer, which Luke gives a little bit of a shit for, because as much as he believes in the paranormal, he doesn't quite believe in what she does, and is pretty much a bit of a dick to her as well. So he does come across as a bit of a dick, but still a almost kind of likeable dick. He was a bit drunk at the time because it's like the last night, so they're like, "Fuck it, we're just getting shit
funny.
I'm gonna stay awake with you. We're getting drunk."
Drink, it makes everything better.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a lot of good kind of one-liners and some humour in here.
What I loved, because it's quite it's quite a state. Well, this is a bit spoilery now, just to warn. There is quite a thing with horror films now where you get the setup for the jump scare, and then it's somebody else taking the piss out of the other person. And you go, ha 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 ha. And there's a little bit of that towards the beginning, but then like way later on, he's got his EVP headphones on, and it's after the drinking bit, and he's walking around as, "Is that the piano?" And he's saying a bit much into the microphone, but he's trying to listen for something, and you can hear what he's hearing, and then you hear this. And then she does the classic stand up from behind the sofa with a sheet over her head with 2 eye holes poked in it, and then falls over backwards. And it's a long way into the movie for that gag.
Yes.
And I think it actually helps with some of the scares later on, that you think this could still be him being a dick or her being a dick. Just it could be another setup scare that's just a prank. And then it isn't. So the other thing I liked is how well lit downstairs is at the hotel, because that's realistic.
Oh wow, yeah.
They could have done really low-level mood lighting. They could have graded it really severely, made it scrungy and misty and murky. And is that something in the corner? But it's like, no. When you walk in there, everything's lit. It's beautifully lit. You can see everything. Yet you're still creeped out. Always like that.
You could barely see 2 feet in front of you, which was awesome. Again, it just immerses you in there, so you're there with them. The sound again is playing a very key part in that whole little adventure that they go on. The one thing that I really liked is when they were talking about, obviously, Mr. Luke being the big shot. Yes, I've seen things, and I've seen the ghost of Madeline O'Malley, I think her name is, or something like that. And so Claire's really into all this as well, and she wants to know, why is the ghost here? What happened? And what does she look like? How did you feel? All those things. And she's trying to quiz him on it, and he's like, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things that she was there and then she was gone, and it's hard to remember when you think back of what she looked like. It's all more of a feeling and everything like that. And it turns out that, here we go, spoilers, he's full of shit. He hasn't seen a fucking thing this entire time. He's just been making himself the big man, playing on Claire's naivety, really. and getting more engrossed because he wants to get to know her better. But she thinks at one point, hey, she's up for it too. But but no, sadly, he gets rebuffed. Before he can even suggest that, he gets rebuked. Because she wants to go, when you get drunk, he's thinking, I'm going to get in her pants. But no, she wants to go in the basement and see what's down there and speak to Madeline.
Well, he does say that there's a lot of money in this at the moment. So the website he's setting up, there's enough of a story about this building, and it's a big creepy hotel. So it's like a business. It's really easy for him to set up this site, say he's seen stuff, be running around with his recorder for people to take him seriously, because let's face it, all these places are like that.
Exactly. Every old building in America has a story.
And there's so many people who've seen ghosts. So, okay.
Yes. We've watched so many found footage movies the same way in TV shows. So he's right, there's a lot of money in people believing all this crap. So, and you do watch many movies going, I don't see how you saw that. What? I didn't hear that. Did you hear that that recording? No.
You've only got to watch Most Haunted in the UK.
You get the same shit over here. My wife loves that stuff. Just like, really? You're going to go in there and spend 8 hours? Fuck off. Spend an entire year there, you bastards. And then see what you can get and see if it's been haunted or not. But no, that scene when they're drunk and they go down to the basement, and this is when it starts to really kick off. They're down there. They are sitting there talking to her. Claire's going, I'm speaking to Madeline O'Malley. Can you make a noise if you can hear us? Yeah. And everything goes quiet, and you hear the whispering. And then you can just see Luke shitting himself.
Well, the beauty of that is they do the opposite to what you were saying earlier. You say when she puts the headphones on, the audio track goes to what the headphones are hearing, what she's hearing. This time, he's wearing the recording equipment, he's wearing the headphones, but at no point does the sound go inside his headphones. All you see is the needle moving on the recording device. And he's freaked out, which is way more powerful than us actually hearing what he can hear. And then he sort of gets to the point where he rips the headphones off because it's too much. That was brilliantly done.
It was. But he plays it so well because, you're genuinely believable that he's like, oh, for fuck's sake, what is this? You can see if he gets sobered up instantly, and then, boom, he can't take it. He is out of there. Well,
the beauty of that was when she says, she basically staring over his shoulder, and I'm thinking, she's pranking him again. And it's like, no, she's standing behind you. And he just goes, and runs out. And it's like, we don't see.
Yeah,
any other director, at that point, this is 1 hour, 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the movie, you'd have got a full-on scare shot of what she was seeing. No, nothing. And it wasn't a prank.
No, I kept waiting for it. I was like, here it comes. I was preparing myself because I was like, he's going to do it, he's going to show you, there's going to be a big loud fucking violin or something going off, and I am just going to shit it. But no, I was right on the edge again. I had my little cap in my hand, almost squeezing it through my hand with being so tense, but he's up, he's out of there. He proves himself to be a fraud. He's like, I haven't seen anything. I can't handle this. I'm fucking out of here.
I have to say, Lavinia nearly broke my hand twice during this movie. Yeah. And she was holding my hand at one point. She jumped so hard at one bit, it made me jump.
What if it's the same bit that she jumped at? Because I made a big jump once.
It was, I tell you, because we're in spoiler zone now. The first one was basically she can hear a noise, so she goes to investigate, and she's looking out through the glass door, and then basically she goes, I'm standing behind you, I didn't want to scare you. She goes, fuck!
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I knew it'd scare you. That was absolutely brilliant.
You just wouldn't expect that.
It's just the way he plays that as well at that point. He's like, because he knows if he says something, she's going to have a heart attack, but he's kind of got no choice. Yeah. He's got to say something. He could have said it a bit quieter, but...
He could have. Or he could have just backed away and just went, okay, I'll wait till she's not so engrossed. Or be a complete dick and I could just really jumped out on her. Yeah. But we haven't mentioned she suffers from asthma pretty badly. So I guess he's very cognizant of that. So he has to make sure that he didn't want it to die on him or have a huge asthma attack. Which, I mean, she does suffer very, very badly from it. Any asthma sufferers out there can tell me whether that's true or not, but she takes puffs on that inhaler more than frickin'...
Yeah, anything winds her up. I think if some people do have fairly bad asthma, it almost becomes a bit of a... a bit of a crutch, basically. They perhaps...
Yeah.
It becomes a comfort thing. Oh, I'll take a puff, Yes. She probably doesn't need all of those.
Yeah. No, but it just calms her down and focuses her mind for a little bit just to get her back in the zone. As soon as it happened the first time, I was like, okay, that's coming into play. let's watch for this. And I don't think it's played at the very end. I think it's played very well, because I think it's kind of open-ended a little bit. Yeah, we are clearly in spoilers. Claire dies, but you don't know how she dies. Was she actually killed by the ghost? Did she just bring it on herself?
She had quite a nasty head wound going into the room she gets stuck in.
Yes, so there's multiple things there which could have brought on the death. But Luke, let's say, an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 25 when Luke leaves, and then the next 10, 15 minutes is really when everything happens. Which is very like House of the Devil. It's the same kind of, the last 10, 15 minutes is where the shit hits the fan and really releases all the tension that you're building up inside. But I love the fact that she was just like, fuck it, I'm so scared, I'm going to go wake up this guest. It's just like, she knows some stuff, we know she's a healer, we've seen a little scene where it's like a little mini seance where she's listening to the spirits, we find out there's more than one, she can speak, or hearing 3 of them, I think they were saying.
She's like, don't go down in the basement, whatever you do. Yeah. So she goes down in the fucking basement and summons the ghost, basically. And then he runs out.
Yes.
He doesn't just run out of the basement. He runs out of the fucking hotel and drives off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bastard. So she's trying to wake this woman up, and the woman's like, fuck off. You made fun of me. You guys made fun. You can piss off. I don't want anything to do with you. And then as soon as she says she made contact, she's like, okay, I'm awake. Yep, give me some vodka. I need some vodka. let me take my little hit. Let me get into the zone. So, okay, take me there. Amazingly well done again. When she goes down into the basement, I was just sitting there going, oh my god, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? I'm watching that crystal and I was like, what's it going to do? Is it going to just go any which way? Is it going to turn colours? What's going to happen? And then she just drops it because she's like, fuck, we have got to get out of here. She's like, go pack your stuff, we're leaving, that's it, we're going. But you haven't seen anything, you don't know what the Kelly McGillis character's heard. She just knows that Claire is in trouble and they have to leave. Claire's packing up her stuff and remembers that we forgot to talk about the fact that there's another guest that checks in.
I was just going to say, that's partly why she's so freaked out at this point.
Yes. There's another guest, during this, there's another guest who's checked in and said, I'd like room 353 or something. And they're like, sorry, all the rooms on that floor have all been cleaned and stripped. We can only give you room 253. And he's like, no. It has to be 353.
He's so creepy. Brilliantly creepy.
Oh my god, he is, isn't he? And you're just like, okay. And you can see that this guy could be a bit of a dick, but Claire's like, no, okay. This is the situation. You want to go up there, we can get you some sheets, blah, 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 blah. And it just kind of calms it all and makes it all better. And she's like, okay, that's fine. And I knew there was something creepy about this dude. It's like, I wasn't entirely shocked by it. But the very cool thing was when I loved how he played this. When she goes to get him sheets, the guy's obviously following her because he's allowed in the employee area, obviously.
He's Batman.
She goes to get him sheets. Yes. So he's at the end of the corridor, standing there talking to him. We know he's there. She bends down to get some or goes to get sheets. He disappears. You're like, what the fuck did he go? Oh my god, was that a ghost? Oh shit, where are we? And then, no, he's just down the corridor.
He just took 2 steps to the left and disappeared out the doorway.
It was brilliant. I thought, you bastard, you had me there. So they get him in the room and he's just like, oh no, this is perfect. This is where I spent my honeymoon.
Yeah.
So I've just come back to reminisce. But no, he's come back to kill himself. Which it wasn't really a shock. When we find out that he's killed himself, I kind of guessed that was what was something like that.
Well, they don't mention him for ages, and it's only when the medium lady says, we've got to get out of this hotel now. She's like, oh, fuck the old dude upstairs. So she runs up to see if he's all right, and he's very dead in the bath. He is
oh my god, that shot will stick with you for a little while. Unbelievably creepy. A lot of blood. A lot of blood. But he has slit his wrists pretty wide open. This old man did it in style. I mean, this wasn't a couple of pills lying on the floor.
Grey face, eyes open. Just really shocking.
Yeah, the effects and makeup on that were amazing. Because it's a very key part to it. So it was quite right to spend the money and the time making it look as creepy as it did. So she sees that, freaks out, and then I knew it was coming. She closes the door and then hears something. And then anything like me, you're just sitting there going...
Yeah, if that was you, you would not open the door. You would just run. He's dead. I'm calling the police.
I'd have been gone. You're just saying, no, don't do it. No, I know what you're going to do. And she does. And this is where it could have been done. Not any other director, but a lot of directors would have just turned the music up to 10 or 12, given you the big fast shot in your face to creep you the fuck out, and then left the whole audience jumping. But no, she opens it and there is Madeline, the ghost. We've only seen once before in her dream.
Was it
but
a
there
dream?
She is, floating. I took it to be a dream.
I wasn't convinced if it was a dream or not.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a dream.
We should talk about that, actually. Well, because she's tossing and turning in bed. She can't get to sleep, and she keeps looking at the clock.
Yeah, but I think because so much time had passed that she had fallen asleep.
I might have missed that, and I wasn't looking at the time on the clock.
Yeah, because she went to bed before 7, because she's really bad. Her shift isn't finished till 7, and she's like...
Oh, yeah, she leaves a note, doesn't she? Yeah, just don't be here right now.
Yeah. Yeah, back at 7. Love the staff. XOXO. And yeah, she rolls over a couple of times, and then they rolls over again, and then there's the ghost that sits up beside her, and it's like 1 in the afternoon or something like that. So that's why I took it as a dream.
No, that's just me missing the whole time thing there.
No,
but it's brilliant because it's the whole sheet sits up next to you, sheet falls off face. Fuck, that's scary.
Yes.
It's been done 100 times, but it still freaks you out.
Oh yeah, he does it very well. And again, there's no music there to really... Oh, there is music, but it's not done, again, in a big shock moment. You're not manipulated by the soundtrack on it. So yeah, you see her floating, and that just creeped me the fuck out. And then came my big major jump scare when she runs down the bottom of the stairs and right into Luke.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. It got me. No, it got the. He did turn the music up for that bit. It was just a traditional jump scare, and it worked. Round of applause. You did catch.
The thing is, when you hold back enough, when you eventually do that, it's like, yeah, well played, fair enough.
Yep, you know what you're doing. Good job. And then he's like, okay, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have left. What's happening? So she explains to him, okay, the guy's dead. Have you called the cops? No. Okay, you sit here. Don't move. I'll go get Kelly McGillis. We'll come down. Just sit here. You're going to be okay? I'm going to leave you by yourself? Okay, good. He goes upstairs. And then again, you're screaming out and going, what the fuck are you doing? I'm screaming at him going, don't leave her.
Yes.
Take her with you.
Yeah, we were saying the same thing. You stick together from now on.
Yes. She's left, and then she hears a sound. And you're like, no, this isn't going to end good. Stay where you are, darling. Don't go. And she's like, Lee, that's Kelly McGillis' name. Lee, is that you? And they're like, no, what are you doing? Where are you going? Yes, that's all I was... I mean, my wife must have thought I was nuts because I was almost screaming at the TV. And I shouldn't have been because I'm stupid and laugh at people for doing this, but I was doing it in this one. And she gets to the basement and she's like, Lee, I'm not coming down there. And you're like, you're damn fucking right you're not. Stay where the hell you are and leave.
To be fair, she doesn't really go down there. She takes one step beyond the door, doesn't she? Really?
That's she does. And I did not see that coming at all. When she's standing there, and then boom, next shot, you get the dead guy is right behind her,
looking just as creepy as he did when he was dead. Fuck. And that's why I now have a broken finger.
Oh man, it was well played.
Well played.
I didn't see it coming. I thought something may happen, but I just didn't see him coming at that point. And then she falls down or is pushed or wherever down the stairs into the basement she goes. Takes a really nasty tumble, and I'm quite glad it was like, it's not one of these tumbles where you just wake up, stand up and kind of brush yourself down. She gets a pretty bad head wound and is pretty fucked up.
And that's how you sort of forgive her for stumbling further into the basement.
Yeah, she's trying to get away from the dead guy. Whether it be a ghost, zombie, whatever it is, she's leaving. And then ends up coming back into the basement, into the cellar where the ghost was, and locking the door. And then I wasn't sure when they start banging on the door. I was like, what the hell? I was kind of creeping me out. I thought, this ghost's getting violent. Something's getting violent. And then she's trying to... She can't get out the cellar because they played it up in an earlier scene where she heard a noise in the basement, opened up from the other doors on the outside of the street, and chained it up. It was a bird. Bird got out. She chained it up. I didn't think...
Didn't you? I was like, no, she's going to need to get out of there later.
Yeah, I should have known better. Yeah, stupid Goggs. But yeah, so she can't get out because it's chained, so she's stuck in this cellar. We don't see anything, and then next thing we see the ghost, and it's coming towards the screen. So it's coming towards you. Just kind of flick between her and the ghost, and then boom, we have the shot of the paramedics wheeling her away, or wheeling a body away. And I was almost heartbroken. I was like, oh, fuck, it's her. Oh, no, it's going to be her. And yeah, it was. And it turns out that the banging on the door was Luke.
Yeah.
Or so we're led to believe. But we don't hear him screaming, you don't hear him shouting, you don't hear anything for her, so you really don't know if it's him. Because all you can hear is her screams, you don't hear anything else. And he's like, no, she was screaming, I don't know what for. Blah, blah,
I tried kicking the door down, couldn't do it. And
yeah, couldn't get in. I just wasn't strong enough. And then he sees the shot, and I found this at the bottom of the stairs, and there's her inhaler. So it's like, did the ghost get her? Did head wound get her? Did she just have a panic attack or an asthma attack? Who knows? And it's a very sad ending, especially because you just don't know. Is the ghost real?
Yeah.
Is she a deadly
She's
ghost?
the only one who sees it. He hears some stuff, but she's the only one who sees anything. So like,
yeah, and obviously the Kelly McGillis character feels it, but she doesn't see anything. She doesn't tell you what the danger is. She just knows that Claire's in danger, but she doesn't. She kind of sets up a little bit from a conversation earlier as well. That she's like, I don't know what it is I'm feeling or what it is I'm hearing. I just know things. I can't explain them, so I can't tell you. I'm not a psychic, so I can't tell you what's coming true or what's not. So you don't know what kind of danger it is. Maybe the danger was that she felt was that Claire was going to freak out and kill herself and die. Not that the ghost was going to get her, but that something bad was going to happen to Claire, and that's why she had to get out. So it's a very open-ended ending, I thought.
And I love those little title cards. It's split into chapters, like old school title cards,
yes.
And it's sort of her in the basement, and then you just get epilogue. And like,
yeah.
But yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah, really enjoyed it, loved it. It is one that, again, just like House of the Devil, now that you know what's there, I don't know how much it'll hold up to a rewatch. It might just be one of those you just have to, a one-timer, and just leave it in your imagination and recommend to people so that they can go and enjoy it. But I do recommend that you go and seek this out. Don't trust the star rating. In fact, who says you have to trust it? but
especially Gordon, because he's normally wrong.
It's worth the watch. Hey, you agree with me on this one, though, so I can't be having that wrong. But yeah, if you see it on Netflix and you've been like me, watch it.
Don't let the cover art put you off as well, because I was looking for it through all the the films on Netflix, and the poster doesn't pop at all. It's really hard to make out what it is even, and it doesn't sell the movie at all well, the one they've chosen to put on there. So I would never have clicked on that if you hadn't told me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't if it hadn't been Ty West on there and I wanted to see what he did.
Well, I was dubious when I saw the poster and I was like, oh, okay, Gordon, and I clicked it and the title started to roll and it said Ty West, and I went, oh, I'm in.
Short of Cabin Fever 2, he's batting 100 to use a sporting term that I don't understand.
I'm glad you still have a foot here, sir.
And I'm very interested to see what his next one, The Sacrament.
Oh, yes.
I'm not watching trailers or anything like that. I'll find it and I'll go into it. I don't wish to have anything spoiled, potentially by a dodgy trailer. Not that I think he would do anything if he had any control over it, but...
From what I'm learning, trailers you have very little say in.
I'll go into it as cold as I can. But yeah, I thought this was amazing. IMDb people, 5.5. From 22,226 users.
Most of which aren't horror fans.
Probably not. Or if it's people say, yeah, I like horror, but they're not wanting to stick with a hour and 40 movie to get a 10-minute payoff.
It depends if you're only looking for the scary stuff, though. If you care about character development and establishing, and you're not just establishing characters, you're establishing the cinematography, the style. Ty West does these brilliant shots. I know it's not unique to him, but he seems to use them in places where it's basically a rushing Steadicam shot, where it basically goes through the house and stops in front of the character's face. But he does it at points that aren't that high tension necessarily. Whereas anywhere else, that would precede like a jump scare or a punch in the face, or do you know what I mean? A big payoff moment. He just uses them because.
He totally knows the genre and knows what anybody watching these movies is expecting, and just doesn't play in it. He writes some parts, but he's like, yeah, I know what you're thinking when I'm doing this, and I'm not going to give it to you. Nah. But when he does the jump scare, it's well worth it. He has set it up nicely and stuff. But I think that's probably a big part of the rating behind that is, I didn't get scared, I didn't see boobs, I didn't see anything else I was expecting. No, not a lot of blood or gore or anything like that. It's just that one scene in the bathtub. To be honest, I mean, even the ghost. I mean, she's got a pretty creepy face, but it's nothing too grotesque.
No, not as, the one in Haunt is way creepier. I would recommend that if you like this one so much. I'd be interested to see what your take is on Haunt.
I found that on Netflix, so I put it in the queue. So I'll try and get that so we can talk about that one. But yeah, just check it out, people. I do not think that a lot of you will be disappointed. And try and do it in the right setting, if you can. This is one for a dark room, late-ish at night. Mr. Rick from Starbase 66, this is one you're not going to want to watch. I don't think. If you've made it all the way through here, because it will make you... I had to I'll admit, at the end of it, I was creeped out suitably that I had to just kind of wait a little while.
Yeah,
before
I should have
bed.
watched it at night. I watched it during the day. It would have had way more effect at night. Funny is, when we're sitting here on the sofa, where I sit, if the door is open, which it normally is because this room gets far too hot, when all the lights are off in the house, there's like a little annexy bit just outside the door. Then it kind of goes round the corner to the rest of the flat. And there's like a strip of much darker bit there. And when you're looking at the bright telly box, which is just to the right of that opening, if you look to the left, you almost see, you get like, what do you call it in front of your eyes when you look at the sun? You know what I mean? Like shapes.
Yeah,
right? You can look, sometimes I see like things at the corner of my eye. I'm like, no, that just... I don't think I would have got up and shut the door if I'd watched that last night.
It freaked me out suitably.
Good stuff. Keep doing it, Ty. We love it.
Yes. I'm not sure when The Sacrament's out. I've seen a DVD review for it, so I don't think it got a cinema release.
That's a shame.
But I haven't been able to see it online yet. I haven't extensively sought it out. I will be looking for that because it came out last year.
I'll keep my eyes peeled for that one.
I think that's it for today.
Yeah. That's good length for our first Simply Syndicated show.
Exactly. We've talked about a lot of
stuff.
stuff.
And if you are a Simply Syndicated listener and we've just landed in your list of shows because you subscribe to the main feed, we would love to hear from you, even if it's just a one-line email to say, hi, listening, I may listen again. That'd be lovely. If you want to say more or chip in, please do, because like I say, we love your feedback.
Yes. Any feedback is all good stuff, and hopefully we'll engage with you. There are tons of ways to get in touch. We have a new email address. As we talked about in the last show. It's been cut down a little bit to try and save you some keystrokes. And it also ties in quite nicely with our Twitter handle too. So our new email address is podofhorrors@simplysyndicated.com. You could, if you still got the old email address, it will still work. I'm not shutting that off or anything. But podofhorrors@simplysyndicated.com is the new email address. The Twitter handle stays the same, @podofhorrors. So that ties in quite nice. And then we are still on Facebook at facebook.com/thelittlepodofhorrors. And also, let's say if you go to thelittlepodofhorrors.com, that's going to point you onto the blog site, which I'm going to try and start being more prolific at posting stuff on there. Try and make that a bit more active. Cool. You'll see there's a list of movies that we have reviewed. It needs to be seriously updated. I'll hopefully do that in the next few days. So if you like to see if we have talked about a movie, you should find it on that list, and it will tell you which episode we talked about it on. So you can go to the episode and listen to it and see what we had to say about it.
Well, that's very bloody organised.
I do try.
I'm impressed. Also, you can post those blog posts on Simply Read, I'm sure, which is the blog site on Simply Syndicated. So there'll be two places you can find it.
Hopefully. We'll speak to the boss, see what he says. And that is it. So thank you very much, sir, once again for another fun couple of hours.
That's all right. The rust fell off quite quick. You did well.
Thank you.
No, it's, actually, after so many weeks, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've missed this dude. Mainly just giving you shit over not liking movies, but no, I've probably overdone that this week. But I think we agree more often than we disagree. So when we disagree, we do like to make a big deal out of it because it's funny.
It is. It is, and it is so often there's like Isla Joyce or hates. It's usually I hate something and boss is like, yeah, you're wrong. It's so there is a lot. The Collection is another one. We haven't quite got into that one, but yeah, that was so fucking bad. But different people with different tastes. That's why we love horror.
Yep.
So we do. So on that, we shall get the hell out of here. And we need to do some plugging for the fellow Simply Syndicated shows.
Oh, yeah.
And so we get to do that now. And in typical other style, which I've heard from other ones, nobody really knows everything that's on the Simply Syndicated network. But that is not true. There are other federated shows out there themselves. The other ones in the Federation we've got is our good friends over at Starbase 66. There's Nerd Hurdles. There are Masters of None. White Star 5, Babylon 5 podcast. What is it? World 1, Stage 1. And the greatest events in sporting history.
Yeah, and that's Jonathan Bloody Wilkinson, who likes his horror. Well, likes some horror. He's wrong about a lot of it, like Gordon. But I do. I hope to be going to Night of the Dead and Day of the Dead with Jonathan. So we usually get some audio from that. We did last year, and that was a giggle. And then Jonathan very kindly joined us on the show to talk about it.
Definitely. So we'll see if we can relive that.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you guys have seen it, so I can get some recommendations. And I believe that Here Goes Nothing is also making a return.
It will be. Here Goes Nothing being Here Goes Nothing. When we get the tech and stuff like that working. Yes, we will be coming back with all singing, all dancing, new and improved next generation reboot of Here Goes Nothing.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Can't wait for that.
Backed by popular demand by 3 people.
2 of which is Boz and Casey. Anyway.
My favourite response was from Nick Long, who is a co-presenter on Take It or Leave It, the Simply Syndicated technology show. And upon hearing about the return of Here Goes Nothing, he went, "Oh, shit, really?" Thanks, Nick.
Yes. But for a full listing of shows, for those of you who don't know anything about Simply Syndicated, just go to simplysyndicated.com/shows. That lists everything on there, and hopefully our little picture will pop up there very soon.
Yes. You can also subscribe to Simply Everything, which is it is I think it's £5 or I think it was $5 or $7.50. I don't know what it is. Something else in dollars per month, and that gives you access to everything Simply Syndicated have ever done. It's a massive back catalogue, but Movies You Should See has over 200 episodes. You can go and listen to the very first one through to the Christmas one I was on last year, if you want.
There you go.
Shameless self-promotion again. Oh, and Those Back to Rock as well, because I go on that fairly often too. So, yeah, give that a listen.
If Buzz is a podcasting whore.
I am, yes. Especially in and around Simply Syndicated.
Yes.
It's my home, what can I say?
Exactly. So on that note, we shall get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So until next time, bye-bye.
Goodbye.
If you would like to get in touch with the show,
please send an email to
podofhorrors@simplysyndicated.com.
Tweet @podofhorrors.
Or visit the Facebook group.
Facebook.com/The Little Pod of Horrors.
Also, make sure to check out our blog
at thelittlepodofhorrors.com
for updates,
polls,
and other thoughts on the horror genre.
Thank you.